Reverend Wichi here with Queen of Forces Healing Ministries with another edition of the Major Arcana for the Zodiac season. And this current Zodiac season is the energy of Aquarius. Shout out to all the Aquarius people. Happy born day, Aquarius. We know that Aquarius energy is equated to humanitarianism, philanthropy, that kind of thing. The Aquarius energy is known as the water bearer, although this is an air sign. You know, the three air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Aquarius being the last one in the 12-month zodiac. So I'm speaking of the 12-month zodiac. This is our card, the star card. And if you have not seen the video for the card for the year of 2025, it was the star card. One day I was just like asking for what was the message for 2025, and I was shown the star card. And so this video may be a little bit similar, but not exactly. I am going to hit on probably some of the same points because we are describing this energy for this season. We are hearing all the time that we are now in the age of Aquarius. Aquarius carries the energy of I know, like typical air sign energy, mental energy, mental alchemy. Okay? We're working with the thoughts, the mind. And this energy is extremely important for us. As you see here on your screen, the words hope, healing, and spiritual path. These are some of the themes that come out when I think about the star card. And if you are familiar with tarot in the star card, you know that these are like three of the major things that come out. Inspiration is another one. And so here I have decided to put the star card from two different decks here. And a lot of times I do this in these videos where I'm talking about the major arcana card for the zodiac season, because the card on my right comes from the Miss Cleo deck, which is my most favorite deck. It was my very first deck. And the one on the left is from the Rider-Waite Smith deck, I believe. And again, if you know much about tarot or even not so much, the Rider-Waite deck is the most popular and well-known decks throughout the world. So I like to have the two different decks up here just for comparison. And I remember the video that I did about the star card as the energy for the year, comparing these two cards on that video, because the energy is a little different. And this is why it's important in tarot that we not only try to understand the overall meanings of the card, but it's so important to pay attention to how we're feeling and the different images on the deck. Because as you can see here, these images are very similar, but they're also different, at least from my point of view. The main thing that I notice here that causes me to have a different vibe or get an additional message from the cards is this. If you check out the star card on the right from the Miss Cleo deck, this gentleman in this picture to me looks stressed, maybe even in despair somewhat, versus the energy of the card on the left, we have a female here, naked, and she's pouring the water out on the land and in the water. And it's just giving a little more chill, peaceful vibes versus the one on the right. To me, it's just like, oh my. So the message that you can get from these cards can be very different depending on which deck you're using and what you're drawn to in the card. For me, one of the main things that I see, even with both of these cards, is the importance of pouring a libation for those of us who do that and honoring those who came before us, honoring whatever benevolent forces that you want to honor. So, that to me is giving us some advice right there. Those of us who have spiritual practices where we honor our benevolent ancestors and other energies, being reminded, pour those libations on a regular. The energy of the star card, again, looking at your screen here, hope, healing, and spiritual path. When we see this card, especially in the upright, I'm speaking mostly in the upright here, when the card is in the upright position, that star guides us. And if we're seeing this card, it is possibly telling us that we are on the correct spiritual path, or that we need to be focused on what our correct spiritual path should be. Now, I say path as a singular word, but in life, we can go on several different paths and yet still be on one path, meaning we can be learning different things, but yet we are fulfilling our divine purpose and going in the direction that we need to go in. And the star card is a great reminder of that. Um, the healing and the hope is a wonderful message. If you have been stressed, sick, down and out, the star card reminds us of hope. And when I mention hope, it reminds me too, in the Hoodoo Tarot deck, the star card is actually called the grandchildren. And I think of a star as a child anyway. We think of sun, moon, and star. Sun being the father or masculine, moon being the feminine or mother, and then the star being the children. And so when we look out in the dark night sky and we see all these stars, they remind us that there's a vast universe. There are vast universes, and we are stardust. That has been talked about for many years in the scientific community. We are the stuff stars are made of. And so the star card can give us a lot of hope and remind us that there is a lot to be hopeful about. We do not have to give up. And during times that we're in now, this message is being recorded on January. I tried to record it the other day, but something happened to the audio. But today is the 29th of January, 2025, and we move through this year. We're already seeing a lot of ups and downs, whatever. Stay focused on the star. Stay focused on your path. Be vulnerable, as the naked woman in the riderwaite card represents. That nakedness is vulnerability. It's surrender to what's highest and best for us. And as far as the grandchildren from the Hoodoo Tarot deck, it just reminds us the blessings that children are and that they bring to us. They remind us that life goes on, there's hope, there's a future. We can thrive if we take care of the children. Blessings abound. We take care of the children. We can be relieved of stress, we can be relieved of painful memories and experiences when we focus on the hope and healing. So let's be motivated by the star. Let's focus on our healing, okay? And may the force of healing be with you now and always. Ashe.